It happened on May 12, 2016. I remember it was on a Thursday. So I went to work, my husband called me and he tells me, hey, it's 6 o'clock, I come and fetch you. So I said, okay, fine. I came down and I hopped on the motorbike. Then subsequently we rode off. Yeah, along the way, what I can remember was I was laying flat on the ground, feeling tremendous pain. Yeah, and I hear a lot of voices. The next thing is I was at the ambulance and they brought me to the hospital. So from there on, my treatment starts.
Panic, blank. It was totally blank. I was like in a different place, in a different world. That is doing when I fly off from the bike. Then I think I landed on something sharp. I think I went blackout for a while. Then after that, when I realized I regained my consciousness, the first thing I did was to look for her. In that inspired moment, I saw like a body lying on the road. Then I realized it's her. So I was screaming and she was totally in blood. The only words that I can hear from her is that she was screaming, she can't feel her legs. She can't feel her legs.
I cannot describe to you the tremendous pain. And I was in a hospital for 3 months. Okay, basically if you talk about the operation itself, it's actually 2 weeks recovery. So the rest of the time is actually the therapists, the doctors, the nurses, they were helping me. So they teach me from sitting upright to transferring, to bathing, to feeding. So it's as good as teaching a baby to walk. So imagine that you are a baby, then you're just starting your first steps. So that's where I was.
In Singapore, 1 in 27 people suffer from PTSD. And the number one cause is road accidents. Victims of PTSD are survivors of physical abuse, road accidents, natural disasters, and other kinds of trauma.
Whenever I see a driver reckless or maybe swerving, I will get very agitated. Okay, that was, I think that's part of the trauma that kind of builds inside me.
Fadzilah suffers from what is known as PTSD. It's a psychological disorder which develops after a major traumatic experience. It causes flashbacks, anxiety, nightmares, and sadness. They can experience emotional distancing, have trouble sleeping, and intense distress when exposed to cues of a traumatic event. These symptoms can develop shortly after the event, and it can last anywhere from 1 month to several years.
Back then, because of trauma, I was anger. I was so overwhelmed by anger. I had this, I can't do it. I even have this fear where when I came back from a hospital that I will end up not doing anything. I will end up become bedridden. The answer to that is passion, because I have passion to cook. I have passion to bake. I have this mindset where I disallow any form of disability to not allow me to achieve whatever that I have passion with. Baking is a therapy for me. So whenever I feel down or at my lowest point, or something happened that tells me, hey, I am less than other people, so I will go to my kitchen and I bake. So when I bake, I see the finished product, and I tell myself, hey, I can do this, man. And then after that, when I give it to other people and they taste it and they tell me that, hey, actually it's not bad, it's very nice, that brings me up to the highest point. The victim is a victim. The other side is I think, which is more important, is the people around the victim. Okay, like for example, like myself, my husband, my children, my mother, my brother, my siblings, and so on and so forth, my friends. They play a very important role in your recovery as well, to accept you, the new you. I have this nurse, she counseled me. Like, okay, this is the new you, this is what's going to happen. Okay, but then again, whatever that's happening, there is always a way to overcome it. So I always remember what she said. There's always a way to overcome. Yeah. So with that, I took that and I actually move on lah. Never ever give up. Yeah. Then after which, once you've tried your best, then let God do the rest.
She's the only one that I love. Other people will just commit suicide. The way she struggled and she move on, she fight on. She's a fighter.